Bam. MC is in the house. What's up, folks? I have about, 20, 30 minutes. I'm hanging out, waiting for the wife and family to get back from the Bronx. I had some stuff to do around the property today. Got a workout in on the land. I put a video up earlier of that. A couple of announcements, do some housekeeping. If you guys haven't signed up to masterchim.com and put your email in, check out the Master Chim letter, which is the daily morning emails. I've been sporadic about the last week. I've got a lot of projects going on, and got a lot of one-on-one coaching students that I've been working with. So my time has been invested powerfully, but it has been invested. So looking to turn the corner on that once the new year starts. I don't really have anything planned. No major announcements or anything. Just got some time to kill. Big Jim, what's going on, brother? How are you feeling? Give me the update. You back in action yet? Doing backflips, running through the woods? Hopefully everything is moving right along as scheduled. Probably ahead of schedule, knowing you. We got New Year's coming up in a couple of days. At my academy, we're doing our annual what is referred to as the Hatsugeko. And the Hatsugeko it's a tradition that started probably around 15th century Japan. And the idea of it is to start the year off with a first training. Jim says, all good on the men, my friend. Good to hear it. Wouldn't expect any less. And this first training, this idea of the first training, its purpose is many. It's putting energy in the training area. It's connecting with the tribe. It's setting the tone for the year ahead. And I have a couple of challenges that I've been putting up to Big Jim Holland. What's up, brother man? I've been putting some challenges out to my students at the school, my coaching students, and I put this challenge out on the Warrior Project. And I could share some of this stuff here with you guys also. Two main challenges I'm trying to push everybody into with the upcoming year. The first thing is setting it off properly. Right now, everybody, and I'll tell you, the people who hear about the New Year's resolution crew and the people who, and you'll see them, they're going to be out there. Some of you might be one of these motherfuckers. I'm telling you right now. You see the people making the New Year's resolutions, and you're quick to sabotage their energy, to rob them of their energy, to sit there and make fun of them and tell them, oh, you'll quit in 2 weeks, you'll quit in a month. And realistically, the majority of them probably will. But what about those people on the fence? What about those people who if they didn't hear that, would have been able to muster up enough energy to make it happen? Do you really want to go through your life being the guy that's kicking people off their paths? I would venture to say you wouldn't, which is why I think that we all need to look at the new year for what it is. It's yet another opportunity. It's another ritual. It's another milestone time-wise that we could either leverage to actually make some progress, or we could just be indifferent to and ignore for the most part. But making fun of somebody for their New Year's resolutions is like making fun of the fat girl in a gym, And when you see a fat girl eating somewhere, first thing you want to say is, why did she stop fucking eating? She's so fucking fat. If she wasn't so fat, or if she wasn't eating so much, she wouldn't be so fucking fat. But then you see that same type of fat girl in the gym, and you want to go, look at this fat bitch working out. It's like you really have to decide who the fuck you want to be. I have as a point of my code that I do not ever look to sabotage somebody's motivation. I don't look to steal people's energy. If somebody is doing something that, from my observer's point of view, I say is positive and productive, then I'm going to let them rock. I'm not going to sit there and try to somehow leverage their suffering or the diminished motivation that I've created in them as some sort of positive for me. It's a slave's mindset. It's a bucket of crabs mindset. If you need to walk around making fun of people in order to feel good, you have to acknowledge that you are an insecure individual. So the first challenge I'm putting out there is the accountability that all of us should have in designing what a goal is supposed to be. One of the things that, when I first start working with people in my coaching program, it's I ask them, what's your 12-month goal? What's your month goal? What's your week goal? And I start adding, timelines to what it is they want to do. And I start to show them how impractical some of them are, how ultra conservative, almost weak some of them are. Somebody tells me they want to lose 5 pounds in the next year, and they objectively could lose about 50. Then we're not exactly looking for pressure. We're not looking to make things happen. If somebody's looking to be positive and somebody's looking to make progress, don't be the guy that's trying to shit on them. Don't be the guy that's trying to, point out the obstacles as being somehow insurmountable. One of the things that I had written in my Code of 47 is people have done more with less. And no matter where you think you are, there's somebody who has easily, navigated around or traversed through your obstacles with less resources than you have. It's just the condition of an ever improving society. As tough as we think it is now, I look at myself and, I think I'm a pretty hard dude, by my standards. If I'm saying, am I a soft dude or am I a hard dude? I'm a pretty hard dude. But as hard as I may think I am, I would say that probably 90% of the men 500 years ago were harder than me. And it just comes to, it's a matter of what type of life you leading. Pressure used to be something that you couldn't avoid. Death used to be a friend. You saw it as one. You saw it that often in life. And now, we're insulated. We're protected. We have all these separations between a relationship with death and the life that we lead, most of us at least. And if we're not the ones creating the pressure ourselves, then we're certainly not going to be able to reap the rewards of living a hard life gives you, So the first challenge is to make sure that your goals are written down, that they're articulated, that, and give yourself a goal for the end of the year. Give yourself a goal for the 6 months, for a month away, the first week, the first day. Plan your first day. In the jungle gym, we have the Hatsugeko, which is just the first training of the year. It's a pretty cool Japanese name, but really it is like, let's start the year off right. Everybody get together and we're going to bust our ass, have a hard training session. And, it's not about winning and losing. It's just about the pressure. It's about the tribe. It's about the commitment. It's about the accountability. All right. Day 1 in the books, hard training session in. So setting those goals and allowing them to not remain in the abstract. Everybody talks about it, right? Everybody, what is it? Goals without timelines or I don't fucking know. Goals without something or dreams or something. Goals without deadlines. Goals without deadlines or dreams. Some shit like that. Like this, I'm not fucking reinventing the wheel here. Everybody knows what the deal is, but for some reason, most of us still don't do it. Now, why is that? We don't have the motivation ourselves, and we haven't sort of tapped in to the energy of a tribe that allows us to do a whole bunch of shit that a lot of us don't do. So the second goal for 2019 that I'm putting out there as a challenge, and I actually made a meme. I'll probably share it later to sort of, record it, timestamp it, if you will. It's challenging your brothers and sisters, if it applies, on their bullshit, right? So if I had to say in all my my experience coaching individuals, and this is students in the gym, this is my one-on-one coaching students that I work with the pressure process, one of the biggest things that they don't do is they don't expose themselves to the pressure that comes from calling the people around them on their bullshit, right? So a main goal that a lot of people have that work with me is, I don't have a tribe, or my tribe is shitty, right? I'm surrounded by fucking weaklings and everything. And, I usually don't break it to them, and they're probably a weakling also if they're surrounded by them, but that's, I let them work that out by themselves. But the thing is, if you want to find a way to leverage your efforts as powerfully as possible, you find the people that are in your tribe, you find the people that are around you, and when you see them fucking up, you call them on it. All right? So the first part of that second goal is calling your brothers or sisters on their bullshit. You see somebody that's supposed to be, following an eating plan and he's not, call him full of shit. When somebody says, "Oh, I'm gonna do a tournament, in 2 months," look at them, and it's a good thing for them. Look at them and go, "Do you give me your word you're going to do that tournament? Let's shake on it." Make them put their ass on the line for it. Make this little random, blurting out of bullshit that a lot of people have. "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that." And look them in the eyes and say, "Are you really going to do that, or are you just saying that? You promise me you're going to do it? You give me your word you're going to do it?" And put them on the hook. When you see people not following through with the things that they said they wanted to do, let them know. Let them know that you see it. Let them know that the fact that you're seeing them fuck up is affecting their reputation, whether they like it or not. Right? So step one, call your brothers and sisters on their bullshit. Step two, make sure that anything you're calling them on, you are not suffering from yourself. Because what winds up happening is you wind up ruining the leverage of your feedback. What you're saying becomes bullshit, right? When you have the, 400-pound obese fucking couch potato telling you need to lose weight because you're starting to look fat, whether he's saying the truth or not is irrelevant. It's like he's not the guy that gets to say that. And we could sit here and complain about that and say, well, we should just listen to truth. Truth is the only thing that matters. But it's just not the way it works out. So part two of that, right? Part one is call your brothers on their bullshit. Part two is make sure that you're not suffering from the same things you're calling them on. A little bit of accountability. By the way, this is how things start to level up, right? Somebody in your crew is doing something fucked up. You tell them not to do it, but then you make sure that you're not doing it too. Everybody's doing that. Turns out nobody's any longer doing that in your crew. And the third part of the second goal, right? Part one, call them on the bullshit. Part two, make sure that you're not suffering from the same bullshit they are. Part three, understand and give permission to your brothers and sisters approaching you and calling you on some bullshit that you're doing. Right? Now, anything that I share that I consider to be powerful, that I consider to be helpful, is something that I admit 100% that I have suffered through at some point during my life. There is not one lesson that I share that I have not seen both sides of. I admit that completely. And one of the hardest things for me to do as an adult, and it took a whole lot of work and evolution for this to happen, is to open my mind to the criticisms of my brothers. When they're telling me I'm fucking up, when they're telling me that I'm being inconsistent, I say, you know what? Maybe my best interest is what they're interested in. And maybe I should listen. Maybe I should take a step back and actually think about this. Now, it's not to say that, you just become the errand boy or the submissive to anybody that you're surrounded by, just by following, criticism and directions blindly. I'm not saying that at all, but what I'm saying is understand that when one of your brothers comes up to you and says you're doing something wrong, this is something that's usually not easy for them to do. I've had people not have talks with me because they thought I was going to react like a fucking psychopath, I guess. And eventually we spoke, and one of the first things I said was, if you think I'm fucking up, can you give me a call? Can we have a talk? And they agreed. And they agreed. And, there's a lesson in that. Maybe we should have the talk about the talk prior to the talks being necessary. Like look over at somebody and, I remember when, I don't know if it was at the school. It was definitely one of my students. And I was hanging out, and at some point I had to go to the bathroom. And, you're about to leave the bathroom, you look in the mirror, and I see that I have a booger in my nose, right? We're training and stuff. But I remember that I was talking to this motherfucker for like 10 minutes before I went to the bathroom. So I'm like, did I have a fucking booger in my nose this whole fucking time? And I had to have this talk. This is one of my younger students. He doesn't, he still trains, not as much as he should. But I remember having this talk with him, and it was a lesson he needed to learn. And I said, did I have a fucking booger in my nose and you didn't tell me? This is after I got out of the bathroom. And he said, well, I didn't want to. You didn't want to what? You wanted me to walk around with a fucking booger on my nose because you were embarrassed to bring it up? It's like, always fucking tell me there's a booger on my nose. Well, let's use that as an example, right? Let's use that as the model. What should we be doing? We should be going around telling people, one of our brothers and sisters, when they have a booger in their nose, right? When they're fucking up and everybody can see it. And you want them to sort of not do it anymore. You want them to level up. This is helping them, by the way. Right? So that's the first thing. Call them on the bullshit. The second thing, make sure you don't have a booger in your nose when you're telling them to take it out of theirs. Right? You're telling somebody, listen, you haven't been fucking training enough. You're fucking lazy. Are you training? Are you in the gym every day? Are you on the mats every day? If it's, somebody, listen, you never call, you never come and hang out, you never do this. Are you doing that also? Not just with them, but are you doing it with the person that's going to call you later on and tell you that you're not calling them? I can't yell at my wife and say, listen, how come you never call your mother, ask your mother how she's doing? You haven't spoken to her in a while. But then I don't call my mother, right? So you want to be congruent in that sense, right? So call them on their bullshit, step one. Step two, make sure that you're following these things yourself. And step three, be a big enough man or woman to accept the criticisms of your brothers and sisters. When somebody in your tribe comes up to you and says that you are fucking up, listen to them. Because they're saying it for a reason. Take a step back. Ask yourself, are you fucking up? Are you being emotional? Are you being stubborn? And you have to be honest with yourself and assess that. Anybody in my tribe, they get it 100% right on the fucking chin. For me, that's just the way it works. And a lot of people couldn't take that. A lot of people are former allies because of it. But anybody that's surrounded by me, anybody's one of my students, my kids, and, I say this often, it's like, why would I not want you to be amazing? Because, by the way, that makes me better. If you're my student, and I just said this the other day with a bunch of students of mine, I said, if you're one of my students and you are amazing, I get to take credit for that shit. So when I'm busting your balls and telling you you're fucking up, telling you you're being weak, telling you you're not doing your job, I'm trying to level you the fuck up, man. Some people are pretty soft, though. They're pretty sensitive, and I'm not hypoallergenic. All right. So the two main challenges in review. Number one, I see you guys commenting. I'm not ignoring everybody. It's just moving in a way, and I can barely fucking see it. But I appreciate you guys commenting. But in review, goal one, challenge number one. Have your goals mapped out for next year already. What are you doing by the end of the year? What are you doing in 6 months? What are you doing in a month? What are you doing in a week? What are you doing New Year's Day? In my school, we have the first training that happens, and it's by design, and it's going to be fucking hard-nosed training. A lot of people aren't going to want to wake up, after celebrating New Year's Eve, to come and put a hard training in and get the sweat out that morning. But we're going to be there. So that's what we're doing the day of. And I have my weekly goal. I have my monthly goal, my 6-month goal, and I have my yearly goal. I have all of these things itemized. What are they? None of your fucking business. But they are articulated, and you don't have to share yours with me either, right? So that's challenge one. Challenge two is a tribal challenge. Has 3 parts. Call your brothers on their bullshit. Make sure you're not suffering from that same bullshit you're calling them on. And 3, Open yourself up to being called on your bullshit by your brothers and sisters. All right? Good talk. Listen to it again if you missed any of this. I didn't put too much fluff here, but I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great New Year's, and I look forward to talking to you guys and girls next time. All right? As always, brothers and sisters, pressure to power.